What's going on, guys? It's your boy. Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be talking about the movie Wonka that came out last week, and specifically some of the things that it has in common with other movies and other musicals and things from the past. So that being said, we're going to go ahead and dive right into this. First things first, I want to talk about a weird set of movies that has like this really strange connection, and like I one day want to make like a really in-depth video essay about how similar these two films are. And so I'll get into that rant first, and then later kind of talk about how Wonka fits into this whole thing. So let's start there. Alrighty, so I'm gonna start by talking about the two plots of this film, and then I will slowly reveal which film is which, and you know, you'll get it, you'll understand. So this movie opens up with a young person who is very poor, has eyes full of wonder, has massive dreams that they really want to accomplish, but they don't necessarily have a means of getting that accomplished. Slowly over time, they work really hard. They do everything that they can to try to make this dream of theirs come true. And then because they're kind of a shady kind of person, they're able to come up with sneaky ways of making money and coming up with ways to potentially get their show off the ground and get their funding that they need for a set project that they need. And then they get together a group of ragtag misfits to put on a really cool show that some people in the town kind of disagree with, and other people are kind of like, yay, let's go, the show's gonna be great. And it's a big show, and there's two showmen who are, you know, working together to create the show, and everything seems to be finally working out well. Things are going decent, but something goes horribly wrong. The place that they are putting on the show at burns to the ground. In one of the movies, it happens naturally, I believe, and then the other movie, it happens because some of those people who are rioting in the city who don't want this show to continue going on literally torch the place. So everything seems to be going really well. Eventually, things fall apart, the building burns down, and all hope seems lost. And our main antagonist, the great showman, kind of has like the moment in their life where they feel like they are the most down and out of luck, and they have to kind of resort to scraping the bottom of the barrel for ideas, and they don't think that they will be able to successfully put their show on anymore, and they basically just watched all of their dreams crumble before their eyes until suddenly something happens, and they get an idea of how they could still put on the show, but at a much cheaper cost to them, and they don't have to worry about rebuilding an entire building. And then, ta-da, they have their final show, and it is beautiful, it is epic, there's a lot of really good music, and a lot of people really love it. So, the shows that I'm talking about, the movies that I'm talking about, are Sing and the movie The Greatest Showman. They are incredibly similar. Like, if you break down the entire first act of Sing and you break down the entire first act of The Greatest Showman, it is almost beat for beat, note for note, scene for scene. The places where it starts getting a little bit different is where P.T. Barnum starts recruiting people, is where in The Greatest Showman, they start auditioning people for songs and stuff like that. And it's a little bit different there. And then once again, the middle of the movie, the big like thing that kind of sets off the ending of the second act to the beginning of the third act is their place literally burning down. And Wonka has that happen in it. Wonka, there's a guy down and out about his luck. He's very broke. The first song is literally talking about how he only has 12 cents to his name, and then throughout the length of the song, he loses all of that money, and then he literally loses the last one down a drain. And it's talking about this guy who's broke. He has a really big dream of making chocolate and being in, you know, the world's like most prestigious group of chocolate makers. All are in this plaza, and he wants to have his factory right there in that plaza as well. And things don't really work out for him. He has to like take his time to kind of get there, and he ends up in kind of a really bad situation with a ragtag group of people who, this ragtag group of people doesn't really remind me a lot of The Greatest Showman in any way, shape, or form. I don't think they're really that musically inclined, and they don't have like big triumphant moments like each of the characters in that. Like, they don't have like a "This Is Me" type song, but they do have their Scrub song, which is great, and I actually love it. It's very catchy. And that is actually where one of my other similarities comes into play. The movie Annie, I actually will be honest, I don't think I've ever seen the movie Annie. I've heard a lot of the songs, and I've seen the musical one time when a local theater near me performed it. And Annie is about an orphan girl who gets adopted by a very wealthy man. And the beginning half of the play is a lot of like the foster girls working really hard to try to, you know, just basically please the people at their like foster home who are kind of like really terrible. And they get treated like crap a lot. And it specifically reminded me of the Hard Knock Life song in the movie Annie when they're singing their Scrub song. And Noodle, in my opinion, is very similar to Annie in the fact that she's somebody who's very down and out about her luck. She's somebody who is an orphan, and by the end of the movie, she ends up finding her actual biological mother, which I think is beautiful. And Willy Wonka, in the sense, would kind of be like the kind of person who brings her to that joy. I really, really like that entire part of the movie. If you guys have seen Wonka, I think that it is a really, really good movie. And the fact that it is similar to these movies, I'm not trying to say that it's copying these movies. I'm not trying to say that it's derivative. I'm not trying to say that it's unoriginal, because I think that Wonka is in itself a very, very different movie. I just make these videos to kind of express the fact that some of these movies, what might feel familiar to you, and if you saw the movies and you weren't entirely sure why it felt familiar to you, but it did feel familiar to you, this might be why. It is very similar to The Greatest Showman, and it is very similar to the movie Sing and its plot structure, where, you know, it starts off, we follow the person, they're not necessarily, you know, the super popular person or somebody who's famous yet, but they have dreams, and towards the middle of the film, they finally apparently seem to have fulfilled those dreams, and everything seems like it's working out, everything's gonna go great, and then their place of business literally burns down. When that fire happened in the Wonka movie, I literally immediately was like, okay, I'm making this video, because at the beginning of the movie, I was like, this movie kind of feels like it's gonna be like The Greatest Showman, but a little sillier, and halfway through the movie, it's still kind of happening, and there's these moments that are reminding me of The Greatest Showman, and I'm like, I'm talking about it. It's similar to Greatest Showman, and I think that it's not a bad thing. Like I said, I love the Greatest Showman movie. I loved this movie, and I do think that for what they are very different movies, but they have some similarities, and I wanted to talk about them. And on top of that, I also wanted to talk about how this Wonka movie kind of compares to the other two Wonka movies. In my opinion, I think that this movie does a really good job of showing why Wonka himself is as fond of the kids in the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory movies, and I think it really does a good job of showcasing why he specifically chooses Charlie to take over his factory, because they say in the Wonka movie a couple of times that the greedy beat the needy, but like not like literally, but like when it comes to like the needy are trying to do something and the greedy are trying to do something, the greedy will always win. And I think that that is actually a really strong message in this movie for Wonka, of course, but also because in the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, he really has a problem with some of the spoiled brats that are there, and that's why. And I think that they do a really good job of setting that up. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to come on and talk about those kind of similarities. Like I said, there's not a whole lot here, because obviously Wonka isn't about a talking animal making a, you know, team of talking animals to put on some musical performance. It's nothing like that. But that being said, I do really think that they are a little similar, and if you like the movie Sing, you're gonna like this movie. If you like the movie The Greatest Showman, you're gonna like this movie. If you like the Annie musical, or anything similar to the Annie musical, you'd probably like this movie. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here and make that quick little video. But yeah, I love and appreciate you guys so much for coming by and checking it out. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys so much for watching and sticking through the whole video. If you liked it, feel free to like and subscribe, and I will hopefully see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Bow. Bow, bow.
He wanted me to drop a verse, I did this. We planned a day, and then we did this. Wanna be in love with the girls with the kisses. Don't give a damn, I'll rid this. I like this when I run the distance. I run a 5K, you go ballistics. I wanna live within the business. Buy more than what's on the clearances. You're getting bent because I know you're a physicist. I wanna deny this shit, I'm unlimited.